I just read a book about Crassus. Well, Publius Crassus.
There was once a dream that was Rome.
Ave, my dudes, and welcome back to Pax Romana. You know, it's been a while since we've done a video like this, with me actually sitting in front of the camera. But today I thought I would get back in front of this camera and talk about this book. Hopefully the light's not shining off of it too bad, but this is The Boar and the Eagle by Jesse Fokke. All of Gaul is divided, and the eagle approaches. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I actually haven't read too much historical fiction. I read a ton of history, and I read a lot of fantasy, but for some reason, I just never really got into historical fiction, and I know it doesn't make a ton of sense, but I have been trying to change that as of late. The last couple months or so, I've read probably six or seven historical fiction books, and I've really enjoyed them. This book was actually sent to me by Jesse and is his debut novel. Like I said in the intro, this is about Publius Crassus, the somewhat famous son of Marcus who campaigned with Caesar in Gaul and would unfortunately one day die alongside his father at the Battle of Carrhae. Firstly, for a debut novel, I really enjoyed this book. Historical accuracy isn't exactly the main thing I'm looking for in historical fiction. Obviously, I just want a good book. But for me, the best part about great historical fiction is the characterization. And that's something that Jesse nails. The book takes place in the head of Publius Crassus as he transitions from rich son of Marcus Crassus to the head of Caesar's cavalry in Gaul. Publius is often worried in this book that many people will think he only got this station because of whose son he is. Spoiled rich kid and all that. But what I really enjoyed mostly about being in the head of Publius Crassus was the issues he had while on campaign in Gaul. While it's clear that he respects Caesar very much, he doesn't always agree with everything that happens on the campaign. He struggles with the treatment of slaves, he struggles with the killing of Gallic families, and even, for a good section of the book, struggles with alcoholism. If there's anything I can relate to Publius Crassus with, it's that. It's also very clear that Jesse did his homework when it comes to the actual campaigns in Gaul. We get these cool maps of the Helvetii migration and even of certain battles that happened during the campaign. And even nitty-gritty stuff like how the Romans built their camp, how they broke the camp down. And that's the stuff that Roman history nerds are just going to love. So if you are looking for historical accuracy, this book absolutely brings it. But like I said before, my favorite part of this book is the characterization. It humanizes Publius and most of the other characters, including Caesar. You don't just get the staunch, serious Caesar as he kills Gauls and destroys towns. You get the human version. It's made very clear that Caesar carries the power of life and death over everybody in the army, but you also get these moments where he's laughing and joking with Publius. Those are probably my favorite. I feel like this review is a little scatterbrained, but I keep thinking of other things that I like about this book. In the book, Jesse has Publius become a fan of the Gallic mercenaries within Caesar's army, the ones that are concerned with stopping the Helvetii migration. Not only does Publius learn a little bit of the Gallic language, but he actually grows a beard and even dresses like them. Now, I don't know if that part is exactly historically accurate or not, but it was interesting to read about. The Gauls in this book are not just a people to be conquered or a people to stop a migration. They are a center part of the novel. And whether Jesse is describing them as the enemy of Caesar, or an ally of Caesar, or even as spies inside the army that are secretly helping the Helvetii, the Gauls play a major role in the story, as they should, in a book which is basically about the migrations of hundreds of thousands of Gauls. There's even moments in this book that make me truly feel sorry for the Gauls, which I didn't think was possible. When I was originally sent this book, I admittedly didn't have the highest hopes, not because I thought it was going to be bad, but even as a huge fan of Julius Caesar, it is something that's often written about, so I thought I would be just reading more of the same, but it turns out Jesse's version of these events was extremely unique. The book itself ends off before the famously large battle that we all know and love that perhaps had not one but 2 walls. So I'm very excited to see where Jesse takes book 2, and I will definitely be checking that out when it releases. Another cool thing that this book does is actually has sort of an index at the end for all the Latin and Gallic terms used in the book, and I actually had to use it quite often because while some of the Latin terms are familiar just from reading about Roman history, a lot of the Gallic ones went right over my head. The Gauls probably deserve to be conquered just for some of their naming conventions.
What would you have of him? Caesar!
Do you know that Branos is a Gallic term meaning crow or raven? Anyways, if this review makes you want to read The Boar and the Eagle by Jesse Fokke, by the way, I hope that is Jesse Fokke and not Jesse Fokke. If it is, my apologies. I will have a link in the description below where you can purchase the book, either from his website or from sellers like Amazon. And do me a favor, leave some comments below telling me what's the next Roman historical fiction I should read. I just read The Warlord Chronicles by Bernard Cornwell, and while that is not exactly Roman historical fiction, although there is many references to the Romans, it was just incredible. And I would love to read more historical fiction in that light if you know any. Maybe if you wanted a hoodie or a t-shirt that maybe said Rome first, the link for that is below as well. But make sure you leave a like on this video, subscribe if you haven't, and as always, Delende S. Carthago. I want to give a big thank you to the Patreon members, including John E. Settle, History Marsh, Callan Nellis, Tim Lockertson, and Air Stoner. If you would like to join their noble ranks and help contribute to the Empire, just head on over to patreon.com/updatingonrome.
From republic, Roman ways, unto imperial, glory days. From the pass of Gibraltar to the corners of Babylonia. Foes are plenty, emperors few. Welcome, my friend, to Rome and Meme Review.